Have you noticed how your life got heavier without anyone lifting a finger against you? Not by a villain, but by 1,000 tiny yeses. Another subscription. Another must-have. Another promise to your future self to sort it all out later. You are not lazy. You are overloaded. And the overload is designed. It eats your time, taxes your focus, and sells your peace back to you at a premium. Minimalism is not an empty room. It is a full life with fewer traps. Today we will name the traps. 5 clear warning signs that your home, your calendar, and your mind are being quietly controlled by excess. Once you see them, you cannot unsee them. And once you cannot unsee them, you can begin to take your life back. One honest decision at a time. Sign 1. The urge to control through possessions. We often believe we are the masters of our things, yet slowly, almost invisibly, they begin to master us. The first television becomes the second. The second turns into a larger screen with better sound. The clothes multiply, filling closets until the seasons of our lives are measured not by growth, but by storage bins. Each object whispers to us that it will bring comfort, respect, or security. But the truth is harsher. What we own begins to own us. Minimalism asks a deeper question. Why do we cling to objects as if they were lifeboats? The answer is often fear. Fear of not being enough. Fear of being forgotten. Fear that without proof of status or comfort, we will lose our place in the world. So we buy. We hoard. We tighten our grip. Yet the tighter we hold, the less freedom we actually have. Think of Jack and Julia. When they first met, their lives were simple. Shared dinners, walks at sunset, a few books and plants in their apartment. But as time passed, Jack's insecurity grew. He filled their space with gadgets and decorations, each one meant to keep Julia close and to prove their life was secure. What began as small gestures became an avalanche of clutter. Julia's home stopped feeling like home. She felt smothered, not by Jack's love, but by his possessions. The objects that were meant to protect their bond built a prison around it. This is the hidden cruelty of control through possessions. It does not only eat space, it erodes relationships, self-worth, and clarity. Minimalism does not ask us to hate objects. It asks us to see their role clearly. A chair is for sitting. A book is for reading. A jacket is for warmth. When objects begin to carry the weight of our fear or identity, they shift from tools into chains. The lesson is this. True control is not found in surrounding yourself with more. It is found in mastering less. Each time you choose to let go of something that no longer serves you, you loosen fear's grip. You discover that love is not proven by gifts, but by presence. That security is not built by accumulation, but by freedom. So ask yourself, in your own life, are you adding possessions as shields against fear? Or are you brave, enough to strip back and stand free? Minimalism reminds us that our worth is not measured by what we control outside of ourselves, but by how well we master the inside. The freedom we seek does not come after the next purchase. It begins the moment we stop being controlled by what we already own. Sign 2. The mask of charm in consumer culture. Step into any store, scroll through any app, and you will immediately feel it. The charm. The carefully designed glow of displays, the soothing voices in advertisements, the promise that what you are missing can finally be filled with one more purchase. It feels inviting, comforting, almost irresistible. This charm is not an accident. It is a mask. And behind the mask hides a system built to keep you wanting, not to keep you whole. Minimalism teaches us to look past appearances. It reminds us that beauty can be authentic, but it can also be manufactured to trap us. When a company tells you that a luxury bag equals confidence or a new phone equals happiness, it is not offering truth. It is offering a performance. And if we are not careful, we become the audience clapping for our own captivity. Consider the story of Mark, a successful young professional. To his colleagues, he was the picture of style. He wore the newest watches, carried the sleekest laptop, and was always the first to showcase the latest technology. His charm became his identity. People admired him, envied him, even looked to him for advice. But under the polished surface lay another story. Mark was buried in debt. Each item was not a symbol of freedom, but a chain of obligation. He smiled at work, but at night he calculated bills and worried about survival. The charm that dazzled others was hiding the truth that he was crumbling. This is how the mask of consumer charm operates. It blinds both the buyer and the observer. We are told that someone with more must be happier, wiser, more successful. But minimalism cuts through the illusion. It asks a direct question. Does this object bring genuine value to my life, or is it only designed to impress for a fleeting moment? When you pause and ask this question, something shifts. You begin to notice how quickly charm fades. The shoes that looked magical in the store become ordinary once they sit in your closet. The gadget that promised efficiency becomes one more wire tangled on your desk. The mask slips, and the reality appears. Minimalism is not a rejection of beauty or quality. It is a discipline of discernment. It teaches you to admire design without being trapped by it, to enjoy the sparkle of charm without handing over your freedom. When you learn to see through the mask, you realize that the most charming thing in your life is not an object at all. It is the peace of knowing you are not owned by your desires. The question you must ask is simple. Are you falling for charm or choosing truth? Are you letting appearances guide your decisions? Or are you strong enough to peel away the glitter and hold only what serves your life? The mask will always be there, smiling, glowing, promising. But minimalism gives you the courage to smile back and walk past, knowing that freedom is worth more than charm. Sign 3. The absence of empathy for your future self. One of the most dangerous forms of neglect is not toward others, but toward yourself, especially the person you will be tomorrow. Each time you say yes to another purchase, another commitment, another distraction, you are silently handing a burden to the version of yourself who must live with the consequences. The absence of empathy for your future self is the silent thief of freedom. Think about how often we sacrifice tomorrow's peace for today's impulse. You stay up late, scrolling on your phone, even though you know tomorrow's body will be tired. You buy something on sale not because you need it, but because you convince yourself you are saving money. Yet weeks later, the item gathers dust and your wallet is thinner. You sign up for another obligation, another event, another responsibility, because it feels easier to please now than to set a boundary. Slowly, without realizing it, your calendar fills with noise, your home fills with clutter, and your mind fills with regret. Minimalism invites us to practice compassion toward the future self. It asks, what does tomorrow's version of me need? Often the answer is not more things, but less weight. Not more commitments, but more breathing room. To be empathetic toward yourself means you stop sacrificing the long term for the short term. You stop trading clarity for quick thrills. Consider the story of Hannah, a dedicated young professional. She worked long hours, bought convenience meals, subscribed to every new streaming service, and filled her apartment with small comforts. She told herself she deserved it after so much stress. But in reality, she was punishing her future self. Her health declined, her savings drained, her apartment turned into a storage room of abandoned comforts. The irony was sharp. What she thought was kindness toward herself in the moment became cruelty towards the person she would become. Minimalism challenges this cycle by teaching us to pause. Before buying, ask, will this make life easier or heavier for my future self? Before saying yes, ask, will this bring me energy or drain me tomorrow? When you build this awareness, you begin to treat yourself as someone worthy of protection, not exploitation. Seneca once wrote that it is not what you endure that matters, but how you endure it. Empathy for your future self is how you endure wisely. You endure not by loading yourself with more, but by clearing the path. By letting go of the clutter today, you give your future self freedom tomorrow. Imagine living with that kind of empathy. Waking up each morning in a room that breathes, opening a schedule that leaves space for reflection, looking into a mirror and knowing yesterday's decisions protected you. That is the gift of minimalism. It is not just a gift for today, but a kindness passed forward to the self you will meet again tomorrow. So ask yourself now, are you burdening your future self with clutter and noise, or are you practicing the most powerful empathy of all? The empathy of choosing less today so that tomorrow you can live free. Sign 4. The web of lies. We tell ourselves, the heaviest chains in life are not forged by others. They are forged by the quiet lies we repeat to ourselves. Lies that sound harmless, lies that sound almost rational. I need this because it was on sale. I will use it someday. This item holds my memories. These words feel soft in the moment, but they build a web that entangles us more tightly than any outside force ever could. Minimalism asks us to step into the uncomfortable light of truth. It asks us to challenge those whispered excuses, because when you confront them directly, their strength begins to dissolve. Think about the unopened boxes in your attic or garage. How many years have passed without you touching them? And yet, when asked to let go, your mind insists they are important. But important for what? If you have not used them, seen them, or needed them, the truth is clear. The memory is not in the object. It is in you. Take the story of Anna, a meticulous accountant. For years, she stacked boxes in a rented storage unit. Each month, she paid the fee, telling herself these were treasures. Family heirlooms, souvenirs, clothes that might fit again one day. The lie was sweet and convincing. But one afternoon, she unlocked the door and opened the boxes. Inside, she found broken electronics, old paperwork, clothes eaten by dust and time. She laughed bitterly. She had not been storing treasures. She had been storing lies. At that moment, she began to let go. The web of lies is powerful because it grows in silence. One excuse becomes two. Two become a habit. Before long, you cannot walk freely through your own space without tripping over the narratives you created. Minimalism breaks the web not through guilt, but through clarity. It says, stop asking what something once meant. Start asking what it means right now. If an object does not serve you today, it is not serving you at all. If a commitment does not enrich your life now, it is only draining the future. The lie that something might be useful someday is nothing more than a thief of peace today. And when you strip away those lies, you discover that freedom was waiting beneath them the entire time. This is why honesty is the backbone of minimalism. Without it, every decluttering attempt becomes a temporary surface cleaning. With it, every decision becomes a liberation. The lies we tell ourselves keep us clinging to the unnecessary. The truth sets our hands free to hold what truly matters. Ask yourself now, what lies have you repeated so often they feel like truth? What objects have you defended as valuable even though they weigh you down? What stories about what you need or who you are keep you from stepping into a freer life? Minimalism whispers back, you are not the sum of your objects. You are not the prisoner of your excuses. When you cut through the web, you find yourself standing lighter, clearer, and more alive. Sign 5. The mastery of manipulation by consumer systems. There is a reason our lives feel heavier with each passing year. It is not only because we make poor choices, it is because we live inside systems designed to profit from those choices. Every advertisement, every notification, every limited time offer is not random. It is deliberate. It is a hand reaching into your pocket, into your schedule, into your attention, and pulling until you give in. This is not commerce. This is manipulation. Minimalism calls it out for what it is. A system that thrives on keeping you distracted and dependent. Think about how your phone lights up. Each ping feels urgent, but how often does it matter? The algorithm learns your fears and desires, then feeds them back to you with precision. The store designs its aisles so you walk past temptation before reaching what you came for. The streaming platform never ends the show. It auto-plays the next episode, so that your decision to stop becomes harder with each second. These are not coincidences. They are strategies. And unless you see them clearly, you remain their puppet. Consider the story of Michael. He prided himself on being disciplined. He budgeted carefully, scheduled his days, and told himself he was in control. Yet somehow he still felt drained, still found his money gone at the end of each month, still lost hours scrolling at night. Slowly he realized the truth. His discipline was being outmatched by systems designed to dismantle it. That discount app notification, that streaming binge, that targeted ad on social media. None of it was an accident. It was a carefully engineered net, and he was tangled. Minimalism became his shield. By removing unnecessary apps, unsubscribing from endless emails, and stepping away from the illusion of constant availability, he began to reclaim his life. At first, it felt strange. The silence of no notifications, the empty shelves of no impulse buys. But then came the realization. He was not missing out. He was breaking free. This is the mastery of manipulation we must all face. It does not scream, it whispers. It disguises itself as convenience, as entertainment, as self-care. Yet beneath the mask, its true goal is always the same: to keep you consuming. Minimalism reminds us that the antidote is awareness. Once you see the strings, you can cut them. To resist, you do not need to wage war against every ad or system. You need only to step aside. Choose fewer inputs. Choose silence over noise. Choose time over endless scrolling. When you strip away what manipulates you, you discover that your life was never meant to be lived in service to an algorithm. It was meant to be lived in service to your values. So ask yourself now, who is controlling the rhythm of your days? Is it you, or is it the endless pull of systems that profit from your distraction? Minimalism invites you to take back that rhythm, to become the conductor of your own time, and to live not as a puppet, but as a person free to choose. Life will always try to convince you that more is the answer. More possessions, more charm, more distractions, more everything. But the truth is simpler. Freedom is not found in adding, it is found in subtracting. Minimalism is not about living with nothing. It is about living with what truly matters. When you recognize the signs, control through possessions, the mask of charm, neglect of your future self, the web of lies you tell yourself, and the manipulation of consumer systems, you begin to see the world with clear eyes. And with clarity comes choice. You can continue carrying the weight, or you can set it down. If this message speaks to you, share it with someone who may also be trapped in clutter. Subscribe to our channel and join us on this journey toward a freer, lighter, more intentional life. Because the path to freedom is not in owning more. It is in choosing less, but choosing it with purpose.